All right, let's talk about Josh Allen. Things have not been going well for the Buffalo Bills as of late. Kind of crazy that there was a point early on this year where he was an MVP candidate. Well, these past 2 weeks have hurt that candidacy, I think, as, a rough performance against the Giants and then just a straight up loss to the Patriots even a week before. They lost to the Jaguars, didn't look great there. So what's going wrong with the Bills? And it starts off with this play, which was the first play from scrimmage here for the Bills. Patriots had a drive, scored 3 points. Bills trying to answer. They're going to answer in a very poor way. It's a zone coverage play, and you see how this route can work, right? Can get kind of past the players covering over the middle, but kind of underneath everyone covering deep. There's that little gap there. That's where Allen is going to look. As you see, Allen is going to run this play action. He looks down the field. He fires down the field, but he just never really saw the corner that on that play and how far deep he was staying. Again, it should be clear, Buffalo did have a guy trying to take that guy away. The player I've circled in black, they had a receiver, hopefully, underneath that was going to draw him more underneath. It just didn't happen on this play. So this is one of those works on paper, but in practice, it actually isn't now working. So what you really have to do is throw underneath on this play. Instead, Allen still pushed it deep and threw an interception on that one. If you're going to push it deep, you have to really get it up, which he did not. Just an error from Allen, and this is the kind of thing that you expect from young players to make. These are young player mistakes. So this is a mistake from Allen. Again, this is kind of part of what he does, right? He takes chances. He will make some reads that on paper aren't the correct reads and still make it work a lot of the time. This time, though, it did not work. Moving over to this play. So this is going to be it's a 2nd down and 7. They're just outside the end zone. And for New England, it's interesting because a lot of times what I've kind of said is, hey, if you play cover 2 and you're having 2 safeties deep, not allowing anything to go deep down the field, it's going to be very difficult for Josh Allen to do much. Granted, it's hard for any passing offense to do much, right? That's a good coverage to beat beat a good quarterback. But here, while New England certainly did a lot of that, they also would mix it up. Like here, they're going to be blitzing pretty heavily. In fact, it couldn't be a heavier blitz. This is cover 0. So everyone is going to go towards Josh Allen and watch what happens. Allen takes the snap. There's a straight shot towards him, and Allen does kind of the thing he typically does of just somehow bounces off of contact, gets outside the pocket. This isn't supposed to happen, right? I mean, the whole point of this play is you're forcing Josh Allen to have to throw the football immediately. Somehow he finds a way to get to this spot. He makes an off-balance throw, and it just wasn't quite able to be complete. So that was a bit of it as well, is I do feel like the Bills aren't really hitting on these amazing plays at as high of a rate as we're used to seeing, which is a good thing if you're a Bills fan, because you assume they'll start hitting on those at a higher rate and things will go back to the way that you expect them to be. But as of right now, it's definitely a bit frustrating. Also going over here, so this is going to be a 3rd down and 7 situation. You have, it's Diggs' route. You see how it can work, can get into a gap in coverage, all of that fun stuff. Allen takes the snap. He is going to look in Diggs' direction. Again, has to scramble out a bit, so he throws off balance. That's worth mentioning, is a difficult play for most quarterbacks. Like, for most quarterbacks, they make this throw, we're saying, oh my God, what a play by that quarterback. Josh Allen has higher expectations than most quarterbacks. We expect him to be able to make good plays pretty consistently. We expect him to be able to make this throw consistently. Right here, though, he missed it. I mean, there's no getting around it. He missed it, and Diggs was frustrated on the sideline after this play, which of course is going to get all the talking heads going crazy about that stuff, I'm sure. But the reality is, it was it was just not Allen's best day. That's just, I think, kind of how you have to describe it. Is he is a quarterback who will have some bad days. This was one of them, in my opinion. Granted, going over to something like this, sometimes things just went wrong for Buffalo. Like, that's always an aspect of football. It's part of why, good teams can lose to bad teams all the time, which is still what I think happened here. I still think the Bills are a good team and the Patriots aren't a good team. But like this play, it's a 4th down and 2, and you see the way this concept can work. Of you kind of have, the receiver who's closest towards the sideline run more over the middle, and then another player is going to run more underneath. Hopefully, with one New England player on that side of the field, he can only cover one of them. You throw to the other guy. However, when this play begins, New England, does a pretty good job here of passing this off nicely to the point where nothing is open, but the area where I've highlighted right here is still significant. Because you see how that player covering over the middle of the field, he can't look behind him. He has to look towards Josh Allen. And so because of that, this route still will get open. It's just going to take a little bit longer. Now, for Allen, this was his first read, but now he's moved off it to try to see if something else is open, which I do understand. Again, 4th down and 2, got to try to get something, out of your hands quickly. As you see, it takes him a second. He does eventually read it. I would still say is maybe a touch late on getting the ball over there, but it ends up getting knocked away. That could have easily been a first down. Good defense by New England to force Buffalo into a tough spot there. Also one that, again, they could have made. If they hit on a couple of these plays earlier on in the game, they do win this football game. Because, of course, with around 5.5 minutes left, it was a little bit earlier when the comeback really started, but right here is going to be kind of the first major blow for the comeback. It's, again, a heavy blitz for New England, and this time, looking towards Stephon Diggs, which makes sense. Sometimes just put the ball in his direction and good things can happen. As you see, Josh Allen takes the snap, the pressure comes, he's hit as he's thrown, is still able to hit Diggs. I paused it right here the throw was really impressive. Getting the ball to Diggs was really impressive. All of that stuff was really good. It still pales in comparison to what's about to happen. Watch as Diggs somehow, some way, finds a way to get out of all of that and get into the end zone for a touchdown. There was then a fumble, which allowed the Bills to get another touchdown and take the lead, albeit the Patriots then drove down the field and scored a touchdown of their own to win the game. So, well, it was good stuff at the end there to retake the lead, and you're still seeing these flashes even in these quote-unquote bad games by Buffalo. I would still say that this is, they're not making things as easy on themselves as they should. Since they had that really great 3-week stretch where they scored at least 37 points in 3 straight weeks against the Raiders, Washington football team, and Miami Dolphins. I still don't say Washington Commanders. I still say Washington football team. Not sure why, but it's more fun. Anyway, since that point, they have then been struggling. Like I said, the Jacksonville game, they really didn't get it going towards the end. The Giants game, they didn't get it going towards the end. And now the Patriots game, they didn't get it going towards the end. They have to just get into their stuff quicker and stop making these mistakes earlier, because they are a great team that can dig themselves out of holes for sure, but they have to stop digging themselves into these holes in the first place. If they do that, that's how they can be not just like a good playoff team, but a championship contender. Because again, those are the expectations, right? The expectations are to win a Super Bowl this year, and as of right now, they're not playing like a Super Bowl winning team, but still early. You're still just 4-3. There's plenty of time to turn it around, but again, it's like, getting to 1 seed, which is so important, that's almost out of the question at this point. You're going to have to make up multiple games. You can do it, but you almost have to win out, or maybe you have one more game you could lose to do it, which is that's really tough to do. So, yeah, those are kind of my thoughts on Josh Allen and this Bills performance. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.